Welcome back to the Butler Beat. I'm Ryan Lovelace. Kelsey Lang is the Vice President for the pro-life student organization called Bulldogs for Life. She is my guest today. Thanks for coming on the show, Kelsey.
Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad to be here.
So tell me about your organization's role on campus. What do you do and why?
Bulldogs for Life is the pro-life group on campus, like you said, and we formed a group and we respect life from conception to natural death. So we're trying to broaden the knowledge of that in society and just kind of promote a positive lifestyle and a respect for life in general for everyone. So in our group, we come together and we talk. We're trying to spread awareness on campus.
Okay, and I understand this month is a big month for you guys, so tell me about why and what sorts of things are going on.
It is Respect Life Month, and so most of our activities a lot are focused this month to help promote that. This month we've had a movie and discussion where our group comes together, we watch a documentary and we talk about it together, trying to just kind of get on the same page and discuss how we can defend our argument against that. And we are talking campus this next week, which we have done in the past, just kind of raise awareness of the issue. And we will be having apologetics training where we will have a group go to Starbucks and just have open questions for anyone who wants to come in and ask us questions about anything, as well as a social event towards the end of the month, just for all of us to get together and get to know each other better.
Okay, and so what sorts of things have you already done this year, and have you guys been really involved already, or is this month where everything kicks off for you?
So far, we've had a couple of events. We had our call-out meeting, which we made more of a social event just to get to know each other and get the group going, kind of talk about our goals for the year. We also had, like I said, the documentary going on, and they had a Respect Life dinner up here in Indy, where they had a group speaker come and talk about her experience. She used to work in an abortion clinic and her conversion story. So we had about 6 members go to that dinner. They said it was a really great experience for them and a great way to make connections up here in Indy for us.
Okay, and do you think organizations like this should be at campuses all across the country, or did it come about at Butler because of a specific concern or thing that happened?
I believe we were connected with the Students for Life organization, so they kind of started us up here. I believe most campuses have similar organizations, maybe not, we're not a national group because we're Bulldogs for Life, but most campuses do have a similar group. Like I said, we were started kind of by the Indy group up here, the ProLife Movement up in Indy, but we made that group once that was formed and kind of going in our own direction now with guidance from outside.
Okay, and could you talk a little bit about what the pro-life movement is and what your guys' stance or opinion is on pro-life issues, and kind of explain a little bit about that?
Okay, well, the pro-life movement is national, and that will come into play in March with the March for Life in Washington, D.C., and our stance on that is respecting life from conception to natural death. So we respect life in all forms, and that's our stance. Indianapolis has a lot of groups up here for youth, and like I said, the Students for Life organization, they have a center up here in Indy. So we kind of work together in our own groups, and then on the March for DC, we come together as a community, as a larger organization.
Okay, so it sounds like you guys work a lot in the community. Do you work with other organizations at Butler to do different events, or has that not happened yet?
That's something we're actually looking to do this year, come together with other students on campus that share similar morals, whether it be one of the religious organizations on campus or one of the medical. I think a couple of those come together to form with us. So we're working on some kind of meeting, whether it's a social event or a movie and discussion, where we can collaborate on that and kind of support each other, I guess, in this environment.
Okay, and I know the Gender and Women's and Sexuality Studies is a big program on campus. Do you guys ever work with them, or have they reached out to you to kind of do different programming and things to kind of help people understand more about the issue from your perspective, or is that something that hasn't gone on yet?
We haven't. I believe last year they had a discussion at the Center for Faith and Vocation. They were planning on having a discussion facilitated by one of the people that live there and kind of talk about the issue in a peaceful and calm and just logical way. I don't think that ended up happening, but I think it would be a really good thing to have happen. Like I said, just have a peaceful and non-emotional just talking together. And maybe that's something we can look into this year. We haven't had contact with them yet.
Okay, and I know there was some controversy with the chalking messages across campus last year. So could you explain a little bit about what that was and maybe whether or not you guys plan to do it again, chalk messages this year, and how that might be different?
Yeah, as I talked about last October, that is, we did chalk campus, and there was some controversy with another on-campus group, and we were really focusing on making the messages positive versus accusing anyone or negative or anything of that nature. We're really trying to make it a positive message just to simply educate people. We found that there's a lot of people that don't know what abortion is. So just to educate them to know the logistics of it, not so much push our stance on them, but just so that they know what's going on. So we really, like I said, try to focus on making them positive messages like, yay, your mom chose life, stuff like that, where it's just making people know of the issue.
Okay, and like you say, a lot of people don't know a lot about it, but do you think students generally hold your opinion as a majority or minority opinion on campus? Can you get a gauge of that, or not so much?
I don't know for sure. I could assume, I would maybe agree it'd be about half and half. I know U.S. population, in the last census they said there was a slight majority of pro-life, which I don't know how true that is on campus because we're a more liberal campus. That might not be exactly the same. It might not follow to this campus specifically. Honestly, you don't really know people's stance unless they're in a group, like I said, or they make it known. So I'm not really for sure on that.
Okay, and about student involvement then, have you guys seen more members join this year as opposed to years past, or over time, how has student involvement in your organization changed?
It seems to be growing actually, which kind of makes sense. As the years go by, it seems like people, especially youth, get more involved in standing up for what they believe in. I don't know, especially lately with all the youth movements. So we've seen, I've only been in the organization for 1 year, but I've talked to other officers, and it seems like we've had a steadily growing group coming in, and especially the people that are involved are becoming more active in it, and we're reaching out, like I said, to different resources, whether in Indy or nationally. So it seems like it's on the upward stance.
Okay, and so what sorts of challenges does your organization face?
It is kind of challenging being on such a liberal campus and having this group. It's definitely not, like I said, always encouraged, but that's okay. Wherever you're at, you're going to have the struggles. So I guess sometimes just the challenges of being on a campus like this do affect it. Other than that, just trying to make it in a respectful manner. Like we said, that's our main focus is we want to educate people, but we don't want to offend anyone. So that's kind of a challenge too, to make the issue. It's hard to extract emotions from it. It's something that can really get people fired up, and we want to make it calm and just talk about things.
Okay, and I know you mentioned earlier about how a lot of people don't know much about abortion necessarily on campus, but I know you guys, I would presume, since you're talking about up till natural death, that you also discuss euthanasia or physician-assisted suicide and those sorts of things. So maybe could you talk a little bit about that and what your guys' position on that sort of a thing might be, because I expect students might not know about that either.
Yes, we don't always talk about it as much on campus just because nationally it's not as big of a talk issue. It's babies and people really get emotional about that, but we do talk about euthanasia as well, and just everything we believe should happen naturally. So we've had discussions where we talk about, different instances, nursing homes, people that are really close, like what's the decision, who should call it, and we believe that everything should happen naturally. So, like I said, it's not publicized as much, but our stance is natural death, so no human cause for anything of that, and suffering is a part of it. So that's our stance on that.
Okay. Do all of your members agree on most issues, or do you guys find yourself talking things through and debating things? And kind of having different ideas about different issues in regards to pro-life stances on issues?
There seems to be a common consensus in our group, actually. I guess because the people that actually find out about our group and join feel pretty strongly on the issue, and it's pretty cut and dry what we believe. Like I said, no human intervention. So we all do agree on the same things that we haven't really had. I know there are certain instances where some pro-life people do disagree. Our group as a whole, though, seems to agree on the exact same thing.
Okay. Do you guys interact with any one, maybe religious group on campus or in the Indianapolis community area, or are you guys more focused on Butler students and kind of a separate entity from any of that?
We haven't connected, like I said, with any groups. I would say if we would, because our stances often connect with Christianity, that would be a possibility, but there are other religions too. There's not really one specific that would connect most. I know the Catholic community, part of their beliefs is respect all human life, so that would be an opportunity for us as well. Like I said, we haven't yet, but I would say any group would be potentially a group. All of the groups on campus could have the same belief.
Right. Okay. And with it being Respect Life Month, have you had any faculty get involved, or do you guys plan to have faculty get involved at any of your events and that sort of a thing, or are they not involved because it's a student organization?
Dr. Hatcher is actually our student advisor, or faculty advisor, and he's really great. He comes to the majority of our meetings. He came to our last movie session and discussion and shared a really great story. He works in the ER, so he has had a lot of experiences with talking to patients and talking about decisions. So he's really active in it, and he'll probably be at our other events, like I said, in Starbucks, because he's really very knowledgeable about the issue.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining me today, Kelsey. You've been watching the Butler Beat. Have a great week, Bulldog fans.